Cool.
Haven't you already been doing that all along?
Well, yeah, in Roll20, but not with the incarnate editing
gotcha.
that I've been doing here. The Radiant Quill.
Yeah, I like this map. It's pretty cool. I like the kind of isometric view that it's got.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
You just sit in your spot. Come on. Please don't go behind the computer. Or sit on the keyboard.
That's where they're going.
So I joined a workshop on a Vyson intro this morning, and they were doing it in Alchemy. I don't know if you guys have ever used that before. It's pretty cool.
I don't know what that is.
It's another virtual tabletop.
Okay.
It's more cinematic,
you
though.
just said a lot of words.
Sorry, lots of complicated words. No, it's another VTT, but it looks pretty cool.
Virtual tabletop.
Yeah. Cool.
Hmm.
Is it like similar to Roll20, or is it a virtual tabletop like any board game type of tabletop?
No, it's actually quite different from Roll20. You play it the same way as Roll20, but just the UI alone, it looks much nicer, a lot cleaner. It supports animations and stuff in the background, and it's
nice.
Pretty cool. It was funny though, the DM who was telling everybody the rules of Vyson and stuff like that, I was like, that's not correct. And they're like, yes it is. And I'm like, no it's not. And I read an excerpt right from the book. I'm like, here it is.
Just being that guy, huh?
Well, you know, if you're telling like 60 plus people how to play the game, you got to give them the right rules, you know?
That's true. That's true.
I love it.
It's a solid point.
The rules lawyering.
Yeah.
I was only for that one thing though. Like I shut my mouth after that because I didn't want.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it was stupid. Like the way you said it, it's like something in the game will heal one condition, whatever. I'm like, okay, no, that's not correct. It heals two. They're like, no, it's one. I assure you. I'm like, all right, let me pull up the book, and I copied and pasted it right into the chat for him. Here you go.
So this looks like a combination of like a wiki and a virtual tabletop.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Might try running that for my future Vyson games, but right now I'm just going to stick with Foundry.
Yeah, that looks like the Nexus from my Armor Camp 5 campaign. Yeah. They stole it! Copyright infringement. I'm just kidding. I do not lay claim to pretty much anything I create here. I try to create. That's it. It's not like I'm going to be like, that's my idea. I'm going to sue you.
There's
Everybody
no such thing as
judge.
an original idea.
Everybody judge Vim for not knowing what a vine blight is.
Yes. Hate me.
Not knowing what a what is?
A vine blight.
You can hate on
I
me
totally
too
know
then,
what
because
that
I
is.
don't
What
know
is
what that is. I know what it is, but could you tell everybody else in the
Yeah,
chat?
just so that everyone else knows. Yeah.
Briar was, we were talking earlier about evil flora.
Plant monsters.
Yeah.
5e?
Yeah, these are 5e.
Okay.
There's vine, needle, and something else blights. I don't remember. Twig blights.
Yep. And then I was telling Briar about earlier versions of D&D and all the different fun death plants they had, like assassin vines that will choke you out, and then
Assassin vines are still in the game.
yes, they are. And then there is another one called an umbral banyan, which is kind of like a much larger assassin vine tree, except it just kind of like it chokes you out, then tosses your dead corpse at its roots so you can decompose and feed it.
Nice.
That sounds nice.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cue the Lion King.
It's a circle of life. Wait, I should update OBS real quick before we get crazy.
before he starts serenading all of us.
Yeah. Launch obs. Pardon me. All right, so we were simply waiting for a Daffy.
Yep.
I will ping him.
CG, you like here, my dude?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
Yo.
You just you joined and you didn't say anything.
Yeah. That's probably why.
Okay. Wait, what's probably why? Were you muted or something?
No. I
Oh.
said I'm a bit zooted.
Oh, you're
Zooted. Oh,
Okay.
very nice. Okay.
The constant state of our DM, so you're in good company.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know. Hey, I am a bulletproof vest.
I had my fiance and I tried edibles once at a friend's house, and they gave us way too much, and I had an
Ooh.
awful experience, and I never want to do weed ever again.
I love how that was literally the first thing on the recording.
Oh yeah, well, I'm happy to share that with the world. I will start my stream in 30 seconds, so
That's fine.
I will repeat it for my stream as well. If you'd like.
You're gonna get so many followers that way.
Yeah, guys, weed is bad actually for me personally.
Everybody just try what just feels right.
Sponsored by Dare, the comeback.
Right.
Sponsored by Dare. Yeah.
Yo, I was outside a pizza place one day, and there was like Dare was set up, but these two guys were like super fucking aggressive. They're like, hey, come over here," and I'm like, "Look, dude, I'm eating pizza. Like, this is like literally drug food."
Yo. Like,
I'm
you already
eating-
lost this battle, bro. Just move on.
I'm
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
triangle pieces of fat. I'll be fine. Anyways, let's see here. The time is updated on the calendar, which, by the way, totally forgot about this feature until just now. You just hold your horses for a moment here.
Horses are held.
You can, I think, just do that. Possibly.
Are we doing
Yes.
something roll 20?
No, I was just doing this in the Discord because Fantasy Calendar has a Discord plugin now.
Oh, neat.
So I was just saying that it is currently Dusktide, the 3rd of Solarian, 151 TY.
Where is that in?
It's in the discussion channel for...
Got it. Cool. Nice.
What was the name of this guy that we're talking to in the shop, by the way? Not the shopkeep, the other guy?
He didn't give
I think I
it.
got it last time. He didn't give it, okay.
There was the other guy.
Some fucking asshole.
The
Yeah, that's
other
usually
guy...
the face.
Let me just look at his name. Bertolf. Short name Bert. Is the innkeeper. So anyways, everyone here?
Yeah.
Are we good to go? Everyone's done their businesses and gotten their food stuffs?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's start it off then by throwing on a little ambiance. Let's see here. All right. Well, we are recording currently, so let's start with our disclaimer for those who wish to listen in. This campaign may include mature themes, such as intense scenes, character-driven conflicts, and challenging moral dilemmas. We're going to try and maintain a balance between all this with drama, action, and humor, so some content may be unsuitable for sensitive audiences. Viewer discretion advised. And without further ado, let's get into it. Who wants to recap what happened last time.
I can do a very brief recap, and I guess feel free to add in if I miss anything.
Yep, that's
But
fine.
we arrived. What? Off to a bad start. What is the name of this city?
Aurora's Rest.
Aurora's Rest. That was the name of the last episode. So the party arrived by boat. We encountered a nobleman dock worker whose name escapes me. This is a great recap. I'm doing good.
Thalion.
Thalion, that's right. Thank you. Who spoke with Windsong. The two of them, there was significant tension, and the two of them arranged for the ship's supply of shards to be moved to a warehouse. The party moved to the local inn and arranged for a room. Had a short discussion with the innkeeper about possibly getting a second room, but it sounds like everything is pretty much booked out in advance, including empty rooms that are booked up by sort of like the rich, high-to-do people in the area, and there was brief discussion of potentially buying one of those rooms at risk that the people that book them out in advance might show up, in which case we'd be shit out of luck, despite paying for the room. We didn't actually pull the trigger on that. The party decided to... we had a quick breakfast at the inn. Embrin talked to some women in the inn, did some flirting. The group pulled them away to go shopping. We went first to Starfall Supplies and checked on the prices of draft animals and carts. And then made our way over to the Radiant Quill.
Yep.
Radiant Quill, which is a magical artifacts shop, and discussed buying things like bags of holding and any other sort of interesting magical items that the shopkeep might have on hand. And while he was checking the supplies in the back, we ran into a very pleasant gentleman, by which I mean unpleasant, who sort of immediately got himself into a verbal confrontation with Drunk. Tranquility recognized, I can't remember if it was his dress or his tattoo.
It was a tattoo on his neck, yeah.
Yeah, neck tattoo that gave him away as an Umbralite, which we learned Tranquility recalled being a group of sort of aggressive anti-Project Dawnbreak
Doomers.
shadow worshiper type people that believe that ending the Long Dark, or believe in promoting or extending the duration of the Long Dark if possible.
Yep.
And that's about where we left off, I think. And let me know if I missed anything.
No, you pretty much got it there.
Everything.
Yep. So I guess I can start with this. The air is thick and palpable with anticipation as the Umbralite stares you down inside the Radiant Quill, his identifying tattoo barely visible upon his neckline. Though the shopkeeper has concluded his business with the enigmatic stranger, he remains staring, smiling at you, as if he knows something you don't. His demeanor is not unlike that of a tactician that knows he's already won. And as the Umbralite departs, leaving a chilling echo in the magic shop, you stand at the crossroads of progress and apparent shadowy opposition. The group, now attuned to the presence of the Umbralites, you face a daunting choice. Should you stand as beacons of light against an encroaching darkness, or will you succumb to the shadows that claim to weave through the hearts of everyone here? And with the dawn beckoning, the Umbralites whisper of a different path. One shrouded in the obsidian embrace of eternal twilight. And as this man departs from the Radiant Quill, his presence still is being felt. Like he exuded a sort of almost like a what's that called when? Oh, it's like making a. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a bodily
Miasma?
function where your hair stands up on your neck.
Oh, I was going to say
lightning?
miasma.
Red.
It's just one of those presences that commands the room as soon as they walk in. And it's as though that same presence has left, leaving you a lasting impression. And as Bert comes out from the back room carrying a small leather pouch in his hands, he just simply stops for a moment, looks at all of you, says, "Oh, I see he's gone. Good.
Yeah, what's his problem?
Rather not talk about it, actually, if we can just get down to business."
Really? We're just gonna sweep? I mean, if you insist, but I mean, we're curious. We're new in town. I kind of want to know what his deal was.
Are you familiar with that man's associations?
Oh, I see you've put the pieces together.
Wasn't that hard? He seemed pretty proud of himself in his own way.
Well, I personally don't like doing business with the Umbralites, but sometimes their offers are just way, way too difficult to refuse.
Sorry, I have some kind of like head injury and my memory's not so great. Umbralites? Can you
Yes.
explain?
Well, I don't know a lot about them, but I do know that they've been here ever since. Gotta be a few years after Project Dawnbreak even started. They just started showing up and causing trouble in places that it's not welcome.
Tranquility. Sorry.
I've heard of situations where they've stolen shards, or tried to sabotage the project itself.
Drunk straightens up at that.
And this organization is tolerated?
They're tolerated only because... Roll me an insight. Just real quick. Everybody.
Alright.
Triple 18s.
And then was,
Where
Oh.
is? Oh yeah, I'm at
Ooh,
the
and
top
that
of the
one.
order.
Yup.
And a 9.
okay.
9.
So he just looks at you all and he tries to hide it, but you're able to see past it. He hates them, but he also is kind of hiding this sort of frustration with the situation. And as he straightens up, he says, well, unfortunately, they've already proven themselves to be quite useful during the construction of the project itself. You see, they've been given leave to stay here only because they're really the only ones that can help us complete it. You see,
Wait,
they
so
seem to be in tune with magics that we don't quite understand, and it seems to have a lot to do with the project itself. In fact, Thalion, the Builders Consortium, he is in a similar situation as I am. He doesn't necessarily like them, but he does respect their skills. Almost a little bit too much, if you ask me.
Normally, I would never dream of asking a shopkeeper to break the veil of discretion around his dealings with his clients, but under the circumstances, wouldn't you think it's a good idea to tell us what it was that you were dealing with him for? He carried away a small item.
Roll me a persuasion if you are trained in it. If you are not, a charisma check, please.
Damn it.
Can I give the help action?
You can give the help action.
There we go.
Boost it up. I have rolled a 17.
Let me just roll something for him real quick because he might be resistant. Okay, you beat him by 2.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay. He says, "You'd have to go and ask me a question like that, wouldn't you?"
She nods very, very sympathetically. She understands the position she's putting him in.
Well, before I get into it, I just want you to know that I don't typically discuss business with others outside the business deal, you understand.
She looks absolutely shocked and she says, "Oh, of course."
But in this circumstance, you all seem to have a nice demeanor about you. I mean, you're looking to buy from me, and I haven't had too many high-paying customers recently, so I'll throw you a bone.
Drunk is beaming, just like trying to look amiable and just...
Now, keep in mind that I don't really know much about some of the things that I do deal in. Hell, they tell me to go get something, or at least try and find something, and I'll do my best to find it. And of course, this guy asked me for something called Eclipsium. Never heard of that before.
Where did you happen to find this material?
Actually, I didn't. It was someone I had hired to do so. He claimed he was an expert in finding these things, and so I, of course, without hesitation, I mean, the offer was too great from the Umbralites, so
What did they offer you?
Sorry.
Well, do you see all the display cases here? And he's like pointing around to all of like the ones you had almost drooled over as you came into the shop, like all these different things being contained nicely within these beautiful glass domed, display cases with nice pedestals that they're sitting on.
Sure, yeah. Beautiful shop.
He says, "Let's just say I splurged when I found out I knew I was getting a payday like this."
So
And you're
that's
looking-
cool.
Yeah, you're looking at the pedestals and like the display cases themselves. It's fine craftsmanship. The stonework is impeccable. Clearly, a dwarf did it, and the glass cases around. If you'd like to roll me an Arcana check. Well,
Quick
you-
question.
Yep.
Can I roll to see if I know what Eclipsium is?
You
Definitely
can.
ask.
So, let's see, Sigbist. Even Tranquility, you would notice this too, only because the DC is really low. There's almost this flickering sheen, almost like that, a gradient that you can see dart across the glass itself and when you change your position every once in a while, especially with the glowing hearth behind Bert. It's kind of playing wildly with the glass, and you can immediately tell that this is magically protected glass. And it's not meant to be anything substantial, it looks like. You don't see the magics on them being particularly powerful. They just seem to have some kind of safety mechanism or something to do with alerting the shop if it's getting robbed or something. Maybe like an arcane lock or some sort of alert.
Tranquility clears her throat and she says, "While the Eclipsium was among your magical supplies, did you happen to notice any strange interactions?"
Oh, I think you're mistaken. It wasn't among my supplies. I had to pay someone good money to go find that.
Yes, but you did retrieve it and you did hold it in your back room with your other wares.
I did, yes.
Yes. Did you notice any other artifacts or items behaving strangely around it?
No. Nope. Sorry, I can't help more.
Okay. Can Tranquility... Sorry.
No,
Can
you
I-
go ahead.
Can I roll something to figure out what Tranquility might know about this stuff?
You can roll me a. Actually, I'm going to require 2 rolls, and they're going to be substantial in DC. So
Okay.
first, I'm going to need a nature.
You have guidance.
I do indeed.
Well, I meant I do, but yeah,
Okay,
also.
well.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the d4 on that. Okay. In your recollections through what you've learned throughout your life, you don't ever remember reading or hearing about something called Eclipsium. Now, for their second roll, Arcana check.
There we go.
Can I guidance that too, or is
I
that
was gonna say,
cheese?
you might as well.
So, because you rolled a 21 on your Arcana and a failure on your first roll, your Arcana roll will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
There you go. Well,
Well, fuck me.
So, can I still use guidance on that 21, or is that irrelevant at this point?
It's relevant. That's fine.
nice.
It's irrelevant?
It is irrelevant, yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Okay, I'll just hang on to that guidance then.
So, in how would you have known about this? How about
Sorry,
how
go on.
about family history? Yeah, family history. Let's do this. Let's get crazy. It hits you, Tranquility, like a ton of bricks. Because you remember a long time ago, this is out of character briefly, but your husband or your spouse, how exactly did they die? Just, you can PM it to me, or you can tell it. I mean, you can't really use it as canon yet because she hasn't told that to anybody yet.
Okay. I would say something extremely lame, like dying of infected toothache or falling down the stairs. So he is an elf, so probably infected toothache.
Could I... Okay, is that something that you want hard and fast, and you...
If it pleases the DM, yes. If you see anything else to go with it, then go with it.
No, that's fine. I just want to try and... Okay, let's do this. So your family has gone through the years not without their strifes, not without infightings, not without pissing off a few people along the way. You remember way back when you were a kid, and you were probably coming into, I don't know, I'd say your teenage years, and you were still studying. You were studying under a tutor, someone that your family hired to educate you about the world of Elyssara and its current dangers. And you remember one lesson. You were talking to your master. You can name them if you wish, or I'll just name them.
Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus, now I gotta pull out. Moment. Your... Master Zane.
Good old Master Zane.
Zain. Go ahead and put that in your notes somewhere. You remember him talking about some of the different known scholarly effects of the long dark. And he got into the properties of what the long dark is. You can't remember everything in full detail, but what you do remember is he mentioned something called Eclipsium. He was talking about it in a contextual way, a very specific one. He was talking about things that are native to the long dark, things that come from the long dark. So that is leading you to believe that whatever that guy just bought from Bert is something from the long dark. And you already know what the long dark does to things when they remain in it too long. So, with that knowledge, you kind of come back into reality, and you now have a pretty good sense that whatever that guy is going to be doing with the Eclipsium is probably not insubstantial, but you don't know what it does or how he is going to use it.
I am going to look around for the shopkeeper's assistant.
It's just him.
Wait, there was an assistant mentioned last time.
Oh, there was? Okay. Shit. What was his name?
He could have gone on break.
Right.
You
Okay.
died on break.
Yeah, don't be
Fell
dying
down
on
the
break.
stairs.
Yeah, something lame fell down the stairs.
Fell down the
Down the
stairs
stairs.
because he got a toothache and
I like how that's something lame. He fell down the stairs.
He fell down the stairs, chipped his tooth, got an infection, and died.
So yes, there is an assistant. He comes back inside. He was carrying some crates or something like that.
Okay. Tranquility will take him aside, and she will say in a slightly lower tone, "Oh, I'm sorry."
No, it's all right. What is it?
Well, you see, I travel with a very, very intelligent wizard, and I'm afraid to look so stupid about him. But could you explain to me what exactly this project with the? And then she's like waving at the Aurora's Rest work scene. What it does?
Dawnbreak?
Yes, like how exactly it works. More, not too many technical details. I'm afraid I just couldn't keep up, but this is something I could understand, please.
My lady, I'm just I don't know anything about that. I just work for Bert.
Oh dear. Well, would you tell me who I could speak to, please? I would hate to look stupid in front of my companion.
Well, there is that man at the dock. Thalian he's the head of the project.
Okay, I'll try Thalian. Thank you so much. Okay, carry on.
You're welcome. Thank you, miss.
I think while the rest of the group is still talking to Bert, I think Drunk's going to say, so the Eclipsium, why did he want it? What does it do? Where did you get it? Tell me more. Come on. I'm intrigued.
Roll me a persuasion.
Oh, yeah,
or
great at
alternatively, and I will stress that this is a pretty good alternative given the circumstances now and given the demeanor that he already has for you. You can do intimidation if you'd like.
It will not make a difference. I'm being nice, so I'm going to just do persuasion. It's a 16. Okay.
Okay. He says, I think I remember, I don't know, that, when was it? It had to have been like a week or two ago. Yeah, it must have been. I think it was maybe, I want to say it was Aura Day 2 weeks ago, so that would have made it the 19th of Kiloria, yeah. I saw that man that was just in here. He was talking to Bert, and then after he left, he used his sending stone and was talking to somebody. Can't remember his name. I wasn't close enough to hear it. Sorry. I did see someone arrive not too long after that. Was wearing a cloak. Couldn't see his face.
Another Umbralite?
He didn't carry himself like one. He looked more like a mercenary.
I think we know somebody like that. That it could. You said this was 2 weeks ago?
Yes. I think.
Okay.
And if I'm thinking what you're thinking, the time technically could add up. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
I think
got it.
I'll ask the shopkeep Bert as well. The same sort of thing, just like that more detail about the Eclipsium, what it does.
He says, I don't know anything beyond just getting it. I just, like I said, I asked the last time I went adventuring, I didn't really do very well. So I typically outsource this type of stuff. And I have no idea what it does. I just acquired it for him. That's it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I think Tranquility is going to offer the chime that we found for identification, and she's going to ask him to take a good look at it, and then she will pull Drunk aside and explain in a very low tone her concerns. I guess she'll have to get close to him, although she does not really want to, and then look around for another party member to enlighten. Does anyone look particularly confused?
I don't know.
I'm asking my party. Who wants to know next?
I think I might have figured it out, so I'm gonna walk over.
Okay. Yes, Tranquility will try not to make it very obvious that there is now a more intensive conversation going on, but she will explain that, to her knowledge, Eclipsium is a ore or artifact mined directly from the Long Dark that very well could carry around the properties of the Long Dark with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's interesting.
That's
I wonder
powerful.
what they wanted it for. I also
Nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good. I also want to know. I guess I'll break away from the conversation and go back over to the shopkeep. You mentioned that the Umbralites are helping with Project Dawnbreak. Didn't you also say that they're opposed to Project Dawnbreak? Why are they helping? Why are they being allowed to help?
Honestly, I don't
all
know
about
the
you.
semantics. This is all dealt with by the consortium and all of the other guilds that have their money poured into this project. I mean, the Luminar Council, the amount of money that they have given this project is you couldn't even begin to understand.
Mm.
And on top of that, it's all secretive. Secrets everywhere.
I think we should be asking our questions more to someone like Thalian, perhaps. And Tranquility is going to be giving her party members a very meaningful look.
He says, now I don't mean to say that I don't know nothing about magical properties of things that you give me. Like, for example, this. And he holds the metal tube-looking thing up. He says, do you know what this is? Because
do not.
I can't remember the last time I've seen one of these.
Tranquility is going to give him an encouraging blink.
Okay. So this is known. He says, this is a chime of opening. Do you know what this does?
No.
No.
Think of any lock imaginable. This can open it.
Oh shit.
Drunk is gonna shoot a look over to Sylvan with like a see how she's reacting to that.
How is that different from knock?
The only problem, I was just going to say is
That's in character.
knock makes a sound. This only makes a small sound. I believe that's the case. Anyways, let me just look at the entry here.
Shopkeeper whips out the DMG.
That's right.
Eclipse
No, we're
the man.
talking about the chime of opening that we found in the treasure chest
Oh,
aboard
yeah,
the
sorry.
ship.
Yeah, that cylinder.
It issues a clear tone, and one lock or latch on the object opens unless the sound can't reach the object. If no locks or latches remain, the object itself opens. So
Like a
it is essentially a open me for free times 2. There's 2 more charges in it.
Only 2 charges. Okay.
Out of an original of 10. And you remember where you found it, right?
Aboard the silver sable.
Or the sable serpent.
Oh, whatever. This is the thing with Bobber that I can never
Ghost
get right.
ship, you know. There's only the one.
Well, the pirate ship.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Interesting.
out of character, are we all under the assumption that Whisper is with one of the Umbralites or whatever they're called?
Or at least working with them. That was I'll go back over to where Drunk will go over to where Finn and Tranquility were talking to him and go like, by the way, the shopkeep's assistant mentioned a mercenary type that kept a hood over his head dealing with the Umbralites. We know one of those. It's possible. He said it was 2 weeks ago. It's possible that it's the hooded man that we know.
We told him that fucking hood was memorable.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's a little.
Yep.
Drunk is just like, I see. It's a little conspicuous.
That's so good. Yeah, I somewhat made that connection as well.
Yeah.
Well,
So are you going to buy this bag of holding or not?
Yeah. How much for the bag? I forget what price we discussed. I think we landed somewhere near 75 gold.
Let's look here. Magic items. Oops. Minor.
We did some haggling.
You did, yes. Bag of holding. That is a wondrous item. Okay, so that's going to be, yeah, I believe we got it down under 100 gold. I think it was somewhere around like 70.
Character sheet.
But
Split it with
yes.
somebody.
Yeah. A group bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yep. Tranquility will put something towards it.
Yeah,
Do we want to split it by 20?
I can put in.
Okay. Drunk
I
will
don't-
put.
I don't
20
think
gold on the
Embrun
counter.
had much, so I'll just put 20 as well.
20.
Yeah, I don't have much.
It's fine.
While
gotta-
everybody's pulling.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I have
We already have
120
60.
GP we can use, so
Oh, I forgot that Sylvan's loaded from all of
pickpocketing.
your business
Yeah,
dealings.
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, your business.
So-
Sylvan, please.
So sorry, I'm proud of my work. Let me enjoy it.
Well, we only need like 15 more to put us where we need to be.
Yeah, what's the conversion rate again? I'm sorry that I never remember. 2 PP is
2 platinum pieces is going to be 10 gold.
okay.
Wait, 10
Oh, wait,
or
no,
20?
it's 20. It's 20. Sorry, my bad.
I was gonna say, hold up. I misbudgeted.
Yes, a platinum piece is worth 10 gold.
All right, so how
Okay,
much do
sure.
I need to give you guys?
10
15,
gold. Oh,
Wait.
15. Oh, yeah, 75. Yeah,
75.
15 it is.
we're so good at math.
Mathing is fun.
Dude, I can't even do my son's 5th grade math with him.
Is it still that Common Core stuff?
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh god.
So I think Drunk is going to turn to the shopkeep. So with that settled, we'll take the bag of holding for 75. Appreciate it. Do you have? I had mentioned before to you. Do you have any magical artifacts that might make it easier to dodge attacks or something along those lines? Something to increase my AC.
I
Ring. Or like a necklace.
do you prefer one or the other?
I'm not really big on clothing, but small accessories would be great if you have something like that.
Tranquility shudders.
I think I might have a ring.
Ooh.
Let me just see. Ring of protection would be. Where are you? Thought I had it. Wait.
I didn't even know that this was a real thing. I was just kind of figuring that you were going to homebrew something. Plus,
Oh no, the ring of
AC
protection
and
is
saving throws.
absolutely a thing.
Hell yeah.
And I believe, Jesus, it doesn't give you the stupid. Sorry, I was looking at
Yeah,
the
I'm
compendium. I need to change the compendium on the Legend Keeper because they don't have all the information I want. So, a moment.
You're good. Oh god, why is it not in dark mode? My
Who's
eyes.
carrying the bag of holding?
Doesn't matter to me.
Me neither.
Toughest to fight.
Okay, so
It might also make sense for it to be somebody on the back line so that
Mm.
if whoever gets downed, somebody on the front line gets downed and they're holding all the potions, that's kind of a problem.
Ring of Protection +1 goes for anywhere between 500. Oh, sorry. A Ring of Protection, yeah, +1 goes anywhere between 500 and 1,000, but anything beyond that can go up to 5,000.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Stuff's
Maybe a
gonna
thing
try
to
and
come
steal
back
it.
and get?
Yeah, let's go speak to this out of character. Let's go speak to this Valian guy first because he's going to be something to handle.
Yeah. I guess I'll say to the shopkeep, hold on to one of those for me. I don't have the coin for that yet, but I'm going to scrounge up that coin and I'm going to come back for that ring because I want that. If you have any work for us or if you know how we might make some coin, feel free to let us know.
I was actually going to see. You two said you just arrived, yes?
Yeah, the whole group, we just got here. Arrived this morning.
And you're heading where exactly?
Well, first, I think we're going to go take a look at Project Dawnbreak. We might as well because we're here. That's the tourist attraction, right?
Oh, well, yes, you can't miss it. I mean, in fact, you're going to go by it on the way out of here, whether or not you head north into the Elder Twixt or if you head south.
Yeah, so we're going to go, I think we're headed that way, and then after that, we're on a mission for the
Tranquility
council.
cuts in. Our business might draw us southward.
Ah.
Important
see, so-
business.
Do you want to... Okay, so you're attempting to cut him off before he says on a mission for the council?
Yeah, that would be the goal there.
Okay, roll me a performance. You both can give... Basically, one of you can choose to roll and the other can choose to help.
She got a 17. I'll help, but...
Can I help her by knocking something innocuous over? Just something that doesn't matter, like a ring.
Actually, the 17's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so everybody just kind of assists. Like they're just like, "Argh!" Like clearing their throats. You know? Just like, yes. And the shopkeep just kind of like, raises one eyebrow a little bit, and he's like, "Well, I don't really care. I'm just, if you do happen to be going south." I wonder if you wouldn't maybe look for something for me?
Sure,
What kind
keep
of
an eye
something?
out.
Well, it's this, I guess you could call it well, it's a sword, but it's in a place that only you types of individuals would probably want to go.
What do you mean, you types of people? I didn't actually say that. Go on.
Adventurers. You look like the type, you know?
What do
You got the
mean?
swords, the
because of the
shields.
scars. Is that weird?
Sure, yeah. Yes, you give me that vibe. So if you wouldn't mind, if you happen to be going into Evanshade Forest, would you mind stopping by Misthaven for me? There is a blacksmith there that is among the best that I ordered. Well, ordered's the wrong word. Sought to acquire this sword
Commissioned?
from. Sure, yes. But going through Evanshade is quite dangerous, at least from what I hear. I haven't made the trip myself.
Sure. I mean, if we happen to stop by Misthaven, we can stop by the blacksmith. There's some sort of like password or note that you want us to pass to him so that he knows to hand off the
Here.
sword to us.
Yes, here. Give him. He looks around the shop, looks at the counter, goes behind it, kneels down, he kind of disappears for a moment. You hear some rummaging. Sure. Give him, and you can hear him still behind there. You can't see him. It's like, there it is. And he stands up. This. And it looks like a coin. But it's a
Okay.
coin you've never seen before. And I figured I kind of wanted to do this in this campaign, so this is a good opportunity for me to do so. He's holding up, mechanically, what is known as an electrum piece.
Okay.
But technically, contextually, in the books, unless I'm mistaken, they don't really talk about electrum as kind of a, I wouldn't say a viable currency, but they don't really go into like the lore or where it comes from because it just kind of appeared. And, I don't know, Corgo, you've probably read the books a little bit more than me. Have you seen anything in there?
Off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing anything myself. So, this coin has a slightly bluish tint to it, almost like a cobalt steel look. And it is shaped in a square-like fashion. And it has this imprint on the front and the back, both of them kind of almost geometric. It's like half circles kind of laid on top of one another, but it's like stamped into the coin itself. And he says, just show him this. He'll understand. He'll probably show you his collection of these things. In fact, this is one of the things I owed him. So he will know that it is from me if you give him this.
Got it. Appreciate it. So, while we're on the topic of us doing something for you, what do we get in return if we bring you this sword?
Well, that's the juicy part. You do that for me, you get the sword, you give him this coin, you get back. How about a permanent 20% discount?
That sounds pretty nice to me.
Drunk looks around at the group. What do we think about that?
Consider yourselves VIPs after that point.
Sounds good to me.
Will we be spending a lot of time in this area?
Well,
Yeah.
Project
On us.
Dawnbreak is... Oh, you're talking to them.
Well, we have to come back eventually because this is the only port back towards the city.
Correct.
Or the big
That's
major.
true. Yeah.
Unless
so I
you
guess we
somehow
probably
get
will.
deterred, but yes.
I think Tranquility would go for it just because, connections and a solid guarantee.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
guaranteed to be back here at least one more time.
Yep, I'm good with that too.
So I
All
think
right.
with the group signing off, Drunk is going to turn around and go, it seems like everybody agrees. That seems like a great deal. The one thing I'm thinking, though, is you mentioned that Ebb and Shade is pretty dangerous, right?
From what I hear, yes.
how many of these electrum pieces do you have? Can you afford to just let us go with that and maybe get killed in the forest?
Well, you see, this is part of a collection. This, at least, is one piece of the collection.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I
has
see.
almost all of them. I believe he might even try and recruit you to find a couple more for him.
Yeah. So it would be a problem for you if, we died along the way with this piece out in the middle of the forest, right? So really, it would be in your best interest to make sure that we're able to survive the forest to get this sword for you.
Stop
You see
right
where
there.
I'm going with this?
Yes, I see exactly where you're going for this. I'll tell you
I
what.
just really want that ring, buddy.
I'll tell you what. He gives you. He kind of takes the ring. He looks at it for a moment, and he goes to like outreach his arm and present it to you to take. But he, as you go to take it, he pulls back. He says, "I will give you this. Sort of consider it consignment. You can hold on to this and use it, and provided that you make it back, you can keep it.
Seems like a fair deal to me.
Otherwise, if you don't make it back, at least I can say you left happy, right?"
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate all the information you've given us, and yeah, thank you.
It's interesting that you are so unsure of yourself. I mean, I've seen other people come through my shop before that talk much about going into Heavenshade, being the heroes, seeing if they can solve the mystery of the Black Lake. But they never come back.
Yeah,
What's the
we've
Black
heard
Lake?
before that that's where we're headed, I think.
Oh,
Tranquility is just quietly face palming.
he's like, I thought it was a little weird that you said you mentioned something about the council. Now it makes sense. You're just the next ones in line, aren't you?
I've
Yeah,
never
we've
seen
heard
that.
people mention that to us before.
Do you care to elaborate, good sir?
I haven't been to Los Angeles in a few years, but the last time I was there, all people could talk about was the amount of shards that were being brought in. The councils seemed to be collecting them, I guess. And now that they have been collecting them, they're relinquishing them to Nocturna and to, us. We're trying to build a better future here. And I do believe in that cause, but doesn't it seem a bit... I don't know, there's something about it. Not sinister, just maybe rushed.
Well, the sun is eclipsed.
Well,
Do you step outside?
I have, yes. That's not what I'm trying to say. Project Dawnbreak is, of course, a monumental achievement to, a testament, really, to the efforts that everyone here has committed to it. But nobody seems to remember the Sundering. We've done things like this before. We have tried to defy nature. We have tried to alter what we saw fit purely because we thought it would be better for us. And we didn't think about the grand machinations of things.
I see your point. On the other hand, every creature, fights for its own survival, and I think with the eclipse where it is, all of our lives are in danger, so this is just the natural thing for us to strive to survive. And as far as machinations and grander plans, Drunk makes a fist and lights it up. The gods seem to be on our side as well, at least some of them.
As Zigbist is going to raise his hand up, he's like, look at this real quick. And, he'll open up his hand and cast Mage Hand. and he'll just like move something insignificant on a desk across. And he's like, just because you can change something doesn't mean it's bad to change something. You're allowed to make the world the place you want to be in, even if it's against the.
He says, I really can't speak too much on this subject because I am just a supplier of things that others need to go about their day and complete their work in a safe manner. I am here as someone who simply ushers in a bit of safety.
There's no just about that.
But you also should understand that there are greater things at work here than I think any of us can comprehend. The consortium holds some pretty tight secrets about the project and how it actually works. All I know is that they've been bringing in a lot of shards lately. And your friend, Alondra, I've seen her ship many times at the port. She helps bring them, so that's just something I know. Not anything I can really elaborate on. Something suspicious, of course. And I know that it's part of Project Dawnbreak, but for what? I guess I can only surmise that you're trying to rebuild the Luminolith.
That had been my assumption too. But as a thank you for all you've given us, he sort of gestures to the ring already on his finger and the information. After when we bring you back the sword, when, not if, we'll also let you know any information we get about Project Dawnbreak since we're headed there next. So I'm curious as well. I sort of assumed that they were trying to rebuild the shard, but like you said, it's not entirely clear. Finn pointed that out to me recently. And he nods to Finn.
He shakes his head for a moment, and then he says, I don't know, not from what I understand about the weave. It just doesn't. I don't think it's going to work. That's just my opinion.
You don't think Project Dawnbreak is going to work, you mean?
You seem like trustworthy individuals, so I'm going to tell you. I've done a little bit of research of my own. In fact, I used to be a scholar at Talendor. I quit the business only because I wanted to, run my own shop. I was fascinated with these magical items themselves, and I brought them here, collected some of them myself when I was in my heyday. But I've never stopped researching, and from what I can tell, it just goes against reality. You can't reassemble something that has been so grossly destroyed.
Dig deep into his memories from his time at Strixhaven, and has he ever heard of something similar, being reassembled?
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Yeah.
You've heard of magical items resurfacing and in some rare cases being reassembled, but you do also remember along with that there was great risk involved, and there was also a lot of variables.
So it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but think of this. Think of your car window shattering and then someone telling you had to reassemble the window.
Okay. I see what that is then, yeah.
It would be
What was the-
so agonizingly difficult and tedious and dangerous.
I'm blanking on the word. In Forgotten Realms, the events that the Sundering. The first Sundering and the second Sundering and the separation of Torel and the two different planets or whatever. You'd be familiar with that. The gods took the planet apart and put it back together
Sure.
twice.
Yeah, I can take a look at that.
The Sundering here.
What
Yeah, I just mean that since he's
action
from
fails,
the
I have
Forgotten
my hand.
Realms
Do you know
and
what
was
server
trying to
that
think
is?
of an
TSO1?
example of something being pulled apart and put back together.
I would say this, yeah, Zigbis.
Okay,
You would
gotcha.
when he mentioned the
Alright,
sundering,
yeah,
like
let me
he
get a
said
case open, and I'll
that
just email you
humanity has
the,
tried
case
to
number, and I'll let you know what I
do
find.
stuff like this before, like overcome the impossible,
I believe
create
I
something
do.
that was not thought possible, and the sundering kind of was proven to be an event that the gods thought that humanity was too ambitious. So, you know from your world
Gotcha.
that the sundering
Okay, yeah,
is not entirely dissimilar.
I will send you the case number.
The gods saw fit to alter things in order
You're
to
welcome.
maintain the status quo.
You too. Bye.
So, in conclusion, Project Dawnbreak is going to be very difficult to complete.
I think. does
If that's
anybody
what it
else have-
actually is.
Okay. So, he says, that's all I can tell you.
I think Drunk holds out his hand to shake his hand and says, "What was your name again, sir?"
You can call me Bert.
Bert. It's been a pleasure. Drunk, and then he goes around the group: Zigbist, Finn, Tranquility, Embrin, Sylvan. I didn't forget anybody, did I? I think that's everybody. And he says, we'll be bringing you that sword. Thanks for the ring. Thanks for the information. And we look forward to being VIP customers.
And hey, and as you go to like turn and leave after shaking his hand, he smiles. You turn and leave, and he just says, "Hey, don't tell anybody that I'm working with the Umbralites."
On that subject, of course we won't tell them. When you say working with, you just mean this little thing that procuring that thing for this guy, right?
Oh, of course, yes. That would, I want nothing to do with them. I just the appearances can be kind of. You understand? I don't want.
Of course. I'm only asking because your last sort of bit about whether Project Dawnbreak was a good idea in the first place started to sound a little.
Oh, I understand. Yes, and actually, if you'd like, you can roll an insight.
Okay. It's alphabetical. And that one. Let's go. Anybody want to roll instead?
I know.
I think Tranquility will, just because she's been sort of softly trying to figure this guy out.
Yeah, somebody size this guy up. Okay, that's much better. There we go.
Yay.
Finn rolls a 19.
Yep.
Tranquility rolls a 4. Okay.
We're trusting Finn's instincts on this one.
Okay. Finn, your little owl bear's ears kind of perk.
Bugbear.
Bugbear. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Why am I thinking owl bear?
He's so cute.
Sorry, I just sneeze. One more time.
All good.
Bless you.
Good
Okay.
bliss.
Phew. Yes, bugbear ears perk up. Something's a little troublesome. You're smelling something.
Mm.
And it's just maybe in the smile that he gives you, or maybe just how he's trying to dodge the question a little bit.
Fuck.
You just get this very strange feeling. Maybe it's instinctual. You think he's lying.
Okay. So, I suspect he's lying about his true affiliations, I guess?
Maybe not his true affiliations, but he's definitely lying about something in everything he just said.
Okay. I just kind of like whisper that to Tranquility, and I'm just gonna settle and be like, know about that.
Yeah,
Seems
I
to be
think
lying.
as we're just like going out the door before Finn has the opportunity to do that, Drunk's just gonna say, "I'll hold you to that. I like you, Bert, we're not going to tell anybody about your affiliations. Don't tell them about us either. Don't fuck me on this.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You keep my secret, I'll keep yours.
Okay. All right. We'll see you soon. And then we can leave, I guess.
All right. Perfect. Let's get out into the little town.
I am gonna let y'all know real quick and just be like, yeah, I think that last bit was a lie.
Perfect.
Oh,
And Tranquility
I hate to
just
hear you say that. Yeah.
face palming.
Give me a moment
Yeah.
here.
I'll
Drunk
let
is
my
gonna
base instincts.
Okay. I think Drunk is going to say, I trust you on that, and that means that we should really watch our backs. It's entirely possible that he is working with the Umbralites, or will let them know of, who knows? We could get ambushed by Umbralites at this point, so let's be careful.
So, I try to let you guys know that as a DM, every time a new day starts, or at least a new, we'll call it a new session, because usually the time frame within all these sessions is fairly wide, depending. Like, things can change. I typically roll a weather, and you got a storm coming in.
Ah, fuck.
You guys look as soon as you step outside the door into excuse me. Jesus. Maps, here we go. As soon as you step outside into the village, you look to your right and a rather large cloud, nimbus cloud, has covered pretty much all of the southern portion of the night sky, or the day sky, night day. And you also, sorry, I'm getting my, there we go. It's starting to rain a little bit, and there's also some thunder.
Does weather behave differently in the long dark?
You do not know.
Ah.
Completely
But,
black rain.
You see a number of people who were walking around are now kind of running, not running, but more like jogging, trying to get out of the rain. Some people go indoors. A lot of people go into the Harborview Inn. It's also a tavern. But mostly they just head to their homes.
This seems like a bad omen.
Yeah, probably not great. But I guess at this point, we have our bag of holding. We probably don't need a horse and cart. We already bought rations and stuff. So I guess we can head out, right?
Yeah. And I bought us tents, so we don't have to be sleeping in the rain.
I did want to speak to Phalion first.
Ah, yes. He's probably somewhere up here.
Makes sense to me. I'll follow your lead.
Let's go.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
guys go to the the docks where you emerged into Aurora's Rest. You remember Thalion usually likes to roam the jetties where the ships arrive and tie up. He's usually there with his clipboard, and actually there is one ship pulling in now. And you see him kind of standing where there's an empty space along the main dock. It's off screen. I'll just bring your tokens up here.
Woo.
And he's standing with his arms behind his back, sort of upward. Upright, I should say. Chin up, looking all proud and stuff. And you remember that sort of pompous look when you first met him again. And as the ship is pulling in, are you guys approaching him, or do you want to wait for him to finish his shit?
I think Tranquility will wait, just because she doesn't want to be brushed aside.
Okay.
I mean, why make it easy to dismiss her?
Right.
While we're waiting, Drunk is just gonna kind of like gesture at Tranquility and go, "Don't mind me, just a little bit more spell courage or something like that," and just cast guidance on her again.
And Tranquility will edge away.
FYI, you do not see the Windsong. It appears she offloaded her cargo pretty quickly and then left.
Yeah, that's
Just as well if she has a chance not to get caught in the storm.
Actually, she probably is in the storm.
Well,
is it coming from that direction?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
she'll be
food for thought.
fine.
Finn's gonna quickly run over to Embrin holding his coat, and he's just gonna put the coat over his head and be like, "I wouldn't want you to go out."
Oh, Lord. Lord Almighty.
How many times do we need to go over this? I'm not literally fire.
Finn just laughs and pats you on the head.
The entertainment value of you has already paid off.
Yeah,
So
you're
true.
like anybody that needs to light a cigarette or like a pipe, just,
We got it.
you're there,
Light your
man.
own cigarette.
All right,
I'm
so
no longer helping you light your tobacco.
the ship docks. You see on the side of the ship, there is lettering that is kind of etched into the wood, and it is gilded, like the lettering itself. It looks really fucking pompous, and the rail and actually I would say pretty much all of the railings of the ship have a similar gilded appearance. They're very well carved, and they have a lot of detail within it. It's a well-built ship. But you notice that this ship is clearly owned by someone who flaunts his wealth or her wealth. And they simply they have everything, it seems. The masts are tall, and the sails that are kind of strung up in them are this golden color. It's not quite the sun, but it's sort of a bright yellow. And there's a symbol upon them. And I wish I had the symbol on me right now. I do not. Wait, do I? Think I might. Actually, yes, I do. Shit. It's not quite. It was the one I was trying to fucking create with the mid journey. It just wasn't working out. It's essentially the same symbol that you saw on the lapel of Thalion. It's the Builders Consortium. It is a ship owned by them. And of course, if he's involved with them, this could very well be a ship that he has funded himself or possibly even owns himself. He doesn't seem to be getting out his checklist as quickly as he was with Elandra. It's almost as if he doesn't really want to be thorough in the way that he was with you with this ship's arrival. Which is interesting. And once they start docking up and offloading their cargo, you see that it's mostly just supplies and materials for, well, it looks like there's a lot of metals and wood as well. You also see that there's a lot of crystalline material. Looks like it may be quartz or shattered larger crystals. They're not luminolith shards. They're literally just blank stuff that doesn't have any properties. Just simply minerals for use. And after all is said and done, and they're offloading things, this guy Thalion notices you lingering. And he drops his smile and walks over to you. And he says, why are you bothering my crew? And me, for that.
Tranquility says, "Oh, I am sorry. This isn't a good time, is it? You're at work. I am so sorry. Perhaps we should come back later. Is it possible to make an appointment?"
There's no appointments, and there's no later. So, what did you want?
Well, we were directed to you with questions about Project Dawnbreak itself.
Yes. But why
Well-
would I tell you?
Well, we are working for the betterment of the project, sir.
Oh? You got proof of that?
Tranquility does not want to be, in his face about it, but she will step back slightly, turn her shoulder, and indicate the warden symbol on her garments.
I guess I should, retreat a bit, then. Sorry about earlier. I wasn't quite sure who you were. I thought you were just more riffraff that Elandra had decided to bring into my town.
Yes, we're trying to keep our official capacity a little more inconspicuous, if possible.
I would wish that you do that. There's talk of, stirrings amidst the town itself, the Umbralites. I'm sure
We've
you've
heard
the
some of that.
stories. Yes. It's been quite a thorn in my side, actually.
Yeah, we actually just ran into one. They don't seem like very friendly types.
Tranquility is biting her lip.
You don't say. And where was this?
In town, one of the shops. Can't remember which.
Did you get a good look at him?
I remember a neck tattoo, Tranquility says, but unfortunately he brushed by us so quickly, I only remarked on it to my friends. And she's not glaring at Drunk, but she's definitely got her fingers, tight against her palms.
Drunk is going to give, a really slight, imperceptible kind of shrug.
Well, I've always been
Maybe
under
more
the
like an
impression...
eyebrow movement, maybe.
I've always been under the impression that they like to remain a bit hidden, but it seems this one was maybe operating with a bit less discretion than is normally expected for those folk.
Tranquility shudders theatrically, just making it clear that she's following along with them. And she says, "Oh, go on, please."
You wanted to know about Project Dawnbreak, yes?
If possible.
What do you want to know about it?
Crap.
I
she
can
doesn't
only
like-
give you the information I have, by the way.
Of course. And we would hate to send you out of your way for this sort of question. We were just wondering, how far along is the progress? And I'm afraid, if you wouldn't mind explaining for me once more, I'm a little slow with some of the details, I'm afraid. And she's trying not to look stupid, but at the same time, kind of the helpless young lady looking to a older, wiser man kind of act.
Right.
Buttering him up wouldn't hurt.
He says, well, do you perhaps want to maybe step out of the rain and talk about this? These men will just continue working. They know exactly what they need to do. How about we all go for a drink?
Oh, please. And Tranquility is about to, not smack Drunk, but she's thinking, don't ruin this for me. Don't ruin this for me.
Besides, this is stuff that should be better discussed in private as it is. And you're looking around, there are some workers, actual warehouse workers, that are pulling in the stuff from the ships, and people walking about past you, to and fro. There could be things overheard.
Okay. She will keep her lips together, nod, and follow his lead.
And he just kind of leads you all back to the harbor view. Ooh, excuse me. That is, if you guys want to.
Yeah.
It is.
Follow him.
Sure.
As you step inside, there's, of course, the lively ambiance as always. It's way too loud in here for anyone to try and listen in on your conversation. Clint is behind the bar, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to serve drinks to the new shift that's just arrived after... Oh, sorry. The old shift that's just arrived after they got off the clock. And now they're here for a drink. And when you get inside, you notice that there is one unoccupied table just off to the corner near the hearth. And there's a good enough amount of seats for everyone to at least huddle around.
Okay. Tranquility will signal before he can to have them brought drinks, and she will splurge out for the extra, like, whatever quality they have that's good, just so that he doesn't get the feeling that they're brought him in here just to sponge off of him.
Right.
She's schmoozing. Don't mind her.
All right. You just see a nod from Clint. He just wipes a bead of sweat off his forehead and goes running to finish giving a tankard of ale to one of the patrons down at the end of the bar, and then he just runs over to the taps and starts filling some beers for you.
Okay.
And you see Thalion kind of sit within the corner. So if you all were to sit down, you'd kind of be blocking him in. And he does so. It just seems to be something that he chose to do himself. And as soon as you... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say...
You go ahead, Tranquility.
I was going to say, if he doesn't mind, I don't mind. But go on.
I was just going to say, Drunk's going to sit close to the wall, too, and, like, prop a hand up, sort of like, if his palm is facing the guy, the back of his hand is going to open up into, like, one eye or two. He's just trying to keep awareness of the bar around them, because he's concerned that they're going to get ambushed at some point.
Right. You all sit down. Clint brings over your beers, just place them around the table. Says, all right, that's gonna... should I start a tab?
Yes, please. I have this one.
All right. You just give me the signal if you need anything else, right? He walks
Tranquility
off.
will, yes, nod and not quite wave him off, but at the same time, just like, come
It's
on.
like, get the fuck out of here.
But politely.
God.
Anyways, Thalion grabs his beer and takes a good swig, just like... Nothing like the first beer after a long day. So, you want to know about Project Dawnbreak?
Yes, please.
Well, I will answer any question that I can. But there are some that I will not be able to answer.
Can't or won't?
Will not.
DM,
Yes.
I am out of my, like, skill level at this point at finessing questions where I have literally no idea what's going on because we've been told, we have to ask somebody else. So can we say that Tranquility asked her first question very intelligently?
Sure.
Thank you. And just tell us something to get the ball rolling on, like, what the heck we're supposed to be following up on.
Okay.
Because most of what we've been asking about Project Dawnbreak was met with, you'll have to ask somebody else.
Okay, so you've gone through the pleasantries, blah, blah, blah. He says, well, to put a fine point on it, Project Dawnbreak is the future, something that we're looking forward to something that is quite difficult to achieve. We've spent the past 130 odd years now constructing it, so you can assume that there are some complications that often arise.
Tranquility just giving him the big eyes and the nod.
What it is, well, presumably, in theory, it is going to be a new luminolith.
Tranquility looks very impressed.
It's the very basic, mundane way to describe it.
One new luminolith.
Yes, big enough to light all of Elyssara. At least that's the theory. You see, I'm just a coordinator. I receive goods, resources, I distribute them. Not really much of the brains behind the operation. Those are usually the magic types. I am simply a businessman.
But
What
have
do
you
you
been
know?
working? Sorry.
No, you can go on.
But have you been working on the project this whole time? He is an elf, right? He's an elf.
He is an elf, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've dedicated the last. Ooh. It's got to be 110 years.
I admire your dedication.
I suppose coming from different perspectives of age. I thank you for that compliment. I know that us elves, we tend to live a lot longer than the human folk. But that doesn't mean our lives cannot be lived similarly. So, the project. A new luminolith, yes, but how they're actually achieving that, that's up to the mages. They seem to be heading up that portion of the project. I'm simply giving them what they need.
And after 120 years, do you feel that you're very close to the end of it? The eclipse must
That's-
have put a great deal of haste on your timeline.
I have been working non-stop for the past 3-4 days. Yes, barely a wink of sleep. In fact, this beer is really the only thing sustaining me right now. You wouldn't possibly understand how many ships have been bringing supplies into this town, and I just simply put it into the warehouse, and then some others, the workers, they come and take it along to the Project Dawnbreak, and that's where it all ends for me. I simply don't have much more hand in it. I just know that, in answer to your question, yes, it's close. It has been close for a while, but think of it as in overdrive now.
Game about the Umbralites.
Tranquility says, and of course the presence of the Umbralites must be a thorn in your side.
Yes, and that's kind of why I'm trying to be a little bit more diligent in my job lately, because I'm on the lookout for them. If you caught a glimpse of anything that they've done over the past few decades, you would probably be steering clear of them.
Are they involved in the tower?
You mean in the development of the project?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
But why?
He takes a big swig of his ale, says fine. I'll tell you what I know about that. Seems the Umbralites, they dabble in magics that others would probably shun or not even give the attention to. I'm talking, of course, of shadow magics. People around here, we believe the long dark is something that should be banished. And these ones, they seem to think not. And in the past, they've not really stopped at anything to try and make it so. They've tried to impede progress on the project several times. In fact, there was one time that several lives were at stake. But they've always failed. They've always been thwarted. Thanks to myself and some of the guardsmen around here. Well, I'm sure I don't really have to tell you. But, Price, let me look at this. Where is it? But, Balar, he runs a tight ship. So, anything that comes in here is under careful watch. I think you can rest assured that most of this is taken care of. You needn't worry. You go out and you do whatever it is you're going to do for the council.
And Zigbis just thinks to himself, he's like, I mean, it sounds good banishing the darkness, but if all the...
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
It sounds good banishing the darkness, but
like, if it depends what that means, and like he's just thinking to himself, if all the darkness just studying and practicing magic that no one else was doing, you know, there's a bit of sympathy in there, like, you know, pursuit of knowledge.
I see. Okay.
Tranquility will ask about the risk of near loss of life. Were the Umbralites trying to kill somebody directly, or were they simply doing something that would sabotage things and put people in danger?
Yes, I believe you're right. Yes, I don't think it was really anything direct. It was rather indirect. Just, strange things happening that maybe presumed sabotages or...
How cowardly.
It's never really gotten too out of hand. They do have their extremists, but who doesn't?
Do they have a spokesman or a person that they gather around?
Not that I know of. They don't really seem to have an organized structure to them. At least not that I've seen.
Do you have a contact that you speak to among them?
I only know so much, but I suppose if you want to get a bit more in depth, and I will say this with a warning. I don't know a whole lot about them, but what I do know is that they really are tenacious. They don't stop at really much to get what they want. At least they've been trying.
Drunk's going to interject, sort of furrowed brow, confused. So you're telling us that the Umbralites have been actively sabotaging the project, but also their unique understanding of shadow magics has made them integral to working on the project. Why are they helping complete it and sabotage it at the same time? I'm just sort of confused about their motivations.
It's complicated.
I see.
If I had a best guess, it would be that, well, they have special qualities about them that
Sorry, kick me out.
oh, they have special qualities that none of us have. That's why. And unfortunately, that just happens to be part of the project. If you
So-
really want more information as to how the magics of it work, I'm not really the person to talk to. You'd probably have to find. You'd probably have to find someone a bit more knowledgeable in that.
Have they been more and then less useful over time? Is that Tranquility is trying to also reconcile the sometimes they help us, sometimes they hurt us, like an ebb and flow?
Think of it like this. Yes, you must understand that a lot of their ideals are intertwined with ours. They seek a solution, but often the solution does not reflect what our ideals are. They think that the long dark is just a mere process that we have to go through, something that we have to endure. Something that it conflicts with their normal way of thinking. Does that make sense?
She nods.
Yes.
They have always postured that the long dark has been something, a bit of a lesson for us to learn. And whether or not we're actually learning it, that remains to be seen, but it's also a problem when you can't fully trust those around you. And that problem seems to be leaking into the project. Now, if I were an ambitious man, and I can be under the right circumstances, I would say I would like to seek them out. Pull the roots out from the earth and dispatch of them. And he kind of has a slight smirk as he says that. You can tell this guy has a tiny evil side. He says, I can't do that. Go ahead.
If they're looking to benefit or make the long dark persist, I would agree with you. I would dispatch them myself if I could, if I knew where to start. But I guess I'm just confused about why they're being allowed to help on the project if they're also not interested in ending the long dark in the first place.
Do you remember
What's to stop them from sabotaging it while they're working on it?
What indeed? Well, lots of magical barriers for one. It seems the individuals in charge have taken it upon themselves to ensure that, well, certain things that the Umbralites try will not be successful. But what I can say is that, as I mentioned before, there are extremists. Not all of them are so zealous as to attempt to completely destroy a multi-decades-long project. But there are... Go ahead.
So you're under the impression there's a factional divide within the Umbralites. Some of them are interested in assisting the project, and some are working to sabotage it.
That is my current belief.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't have much evidence contrary. But I have seen some activity from them, and I suppose in my own way I'm warning you that if you're going to be dealing with them, tread carefully. You don't really know who you can trust.
Tranquility nods and will thank him for the advice.
Not a problem. And as he guzzles the last bit of his beer, he says, I need to get back to work. There's going to be another ship coming in soon. I bid you all good luck on your travel.
Thanks for your time.
I think Tranquility will ask him for the name of a mage if he has the time, that they could ask any follow-up questions to, but otherwise she will just let him go.
He's pretty much done.
Okay.
He just walks off and doesn't really say a word other than that. He really only took that time to tell you what he already knew, and that was, that you needed to know, and that was it. That was all the
Perfect.
time he even wanted to commit.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are amidst the Harbor View Inn. What do you guys do after he walks off?
Tranquility will settle her tab. How much do I owe him?
He says 5 silver.
Okay, I'll mark that off the character sheet.
All right.
I think we should go find that magical item for the shop.
Yeah, I guess we can start heading south if we want to leave today. I guess we had a long rest on the ship last night. I guess we could stay here another day and depart tomorrow morning. It's probably only, like 9:30 a.m. today? Maybe 10?
It is. It's currently like 9:30, yeah.
Do we want to just depart today and not bother staying the night here?
Tranquility would kind of like to experiment. Is there a long dark pocket somewhere around the town that is large or obvious?
Actually, no. When you arrived, all of the lanterns that are within the town.
No, outside, outside
Oh.
the town gates.
Not that you noticed. You haven't sort of.
Okay, Tranquility would like to just look around and see if they can see one, because that would seem to be an obvious place for the Umbralites to be hiding something, or at least having a meeting point.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Because we know that the Umbralites have a magic package thingy of bad, and we know that the project is nearing completion. So I'm a little bit worried about what happens if we just walk off. So I'd like to
Yeah, I
look
think-
around and try to get a little sense of where they might have the magic packet of bad.
Yeah. I think Drunk will lean into the table and say, I agree. Something it seems like it's going on here. And I am a little nervous about what state the project will be in when we get back if we leave it unattended. So I guess we could just poke around the town and sort of investigate.
Yes, there was no good way to ask about what might be happening with Eclipsium.
Okay. Then we're gonna do it this way.
Shrunk.
-1 investigation. Let's
Okay,
go.
Start by throwing Drunk off the docks.
Drunk stands up from the table, looks around, and goes, "No, you know what? I don't think there's anything going on in this town. I don't think."
So it is now a bit harder on the rain as you go outside. And looking around, you don't see anybody really walking around too much. Where do you go?
I'm not really sure where to start. I don't know. Does anyone
I would-
else have ideas? Do we
I
have
would say-
detect magic
I
or
would
something?
say
Go ahead.
walk around the perimeter of the town, looking at the outside, and see if there's a pocket of a long dark anywhere that would be within easy walking distance.
Okay.
That's my first. Just look at the lie of the land outside the town first.
All right. Wow. I actually was kind of not expecting that.
Oh,
Yeah. You guys go out of the town gates, there's a large, probably like 25-foot tall wall that separates the town from the outside. There's a big, probably like 20-foot wide dirt road that leads out from the gate and along through not a dense forest, but thick enough where there's like a lot of trees around where you can, every once in a while there'd be some sunlight poking through the canopy if there was a sun, but it eventually breaks up ahead. And there's no light from any of the lanterns or lamps in the town that pierces out into the night currently, or the day. It's mostly night, though.
Tranquility will ask, Amberin, do you see anything?
Let me find
Oh,
out
I'm
if I
sorry.
do.
She would call him Mr. Amberin.
Let me find out if I do.
Yeah, Drunk is just gonna cast light on like objects up ahead to try to light it up a little bit better. I don't know how well that'll work with pockets of long dark, obviously, but
Well, it might
for natural
confirm
darkness,
it's a pocket of long dark.
that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, I have devil's sight, so I can see through it. Thing.
Yes. Well, and does it look like long dark?
Actually, yes. And here's what's interesting. It's a fairly average sized piece of long dark. It's up ahead along the road. It's slightly off the road to the left in the woods. You can see it because a tree was recently lit up by a spell. And as soon as it illuminates this pocket of long dark, you're like, oh, okay. You go over there. And once you're there, what do you do?
With my devil's sight, do I see anything more hiding in it?
Hiding?
I mean, before the Shadow Man was hiding the last time I looked into it.
You don't see anything hiding, but you do see a forest.
Is it perceptibly different than the forest that we are in?
No, not entirely.
Can I cast the light cantrip to an object inside the long dark just to see what happens?
You attempt to do so, nothing happens.
What if I cast like Mage Hand and tell the hand to go in there and like just reach around and try and grab something and bring it back?
Okay.
All right, I'll cast
Go-
Mage Hand. Oh, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
I'll cast Mage Hand and tell it to go into the pocket of long dark, and like I'll ask Embryn, like, hey, if I'm about to grab something, just tell me because I want to see if I can pull something out.
I guess
Wow.
I'll help.
Brain machine using
I'll
someone
help.
else's mage hand.
I'll help him navigate to grab something nearby.
So it's like a rock or a stick, or it can be anything.
Both of you roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, I'm so smart.
I'll cast guidance on one of you.
Does
I need
guidance
it.
work on things like this?
Does what? Sorry?
I think it's
Would
skill rolls.
guidance work on an intelligence roll?
I believe it's any ability check, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He passed that guidance on to me.
I was gonna say, Zigbus, why don't you guidance Emberin and I'll guidance you?
Okay.
You guys guidance each other.
Yeah, so both of you roll 1d4.
15.
21.
All
Nice,
right.
there we go.
Bruh.
You're able to assist him. The mage hand, you see like what looks like a small rock And you're like, hey, there's a rock right there, and you just kind of direct him.
Left, no, your other left. Forward, nope, backwards, too far.
And finally, it looks like you grab it, and you tell him to bring the hand back out.
All right, I'll tell the mage hand to like start coming towards me, like come out of the shadows with whatever you got.
Yep, it does so, and out drops a pebble. Not like a pebble, but like a small stone. And the stone itself is almost this charcoal black color and little wisps of black tendrils.
Did we just mine up that Elysium?
No.
Okay, good.
Looks to be just a stone.
Like a vent to black stone.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah, by all means.
I'll pick it up.
Embrim,
Yeah.
roll me a con save.
Oh no.
You still have guidance. Add guidance. Okay, 16.
Wait, does that apply to saving throws? That was ability rolls.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Oh
I don't know.
shit, yeah, good point. Yeah, I would have had to
13.
have blessed you. Never mind. 13.
I was say, hold on a minute. I am struggling with consecutive thought right now. Yeah, it dawned on me. Like, wait a minute, that don't sound right.
You
ability
are
checks.
you're fine.
13.
Though something about the nature of this stone makes you very uneasy, and you drop it even like seconds after you grab it. You hear, as you do, hold on to it and touch it for those brief moments. You hear, once again, almost echoing back from a day or two ago, just soft whispers. In shadows born, in shadows reborn. Just keeps coming back. That phrase. You can hear it amongst the whispers. And after you drop it and the tendrils kind of stop being so vigorous and lively, just kind of sits on the ground.
Oh, that is not lovely.
What happened?
Things are whispering.
Are they still whispering?
Not anymore when I dropped it.
Everyone make a perception check.
This gives me an idea, though.
I rolled the wrong thing at first, but my second roll's a dirty 20.
Drunk, out of nowhere, your hand is kind of just resting along your side. Your arms are just kind of just dropped. And you're looking slightly towards Emberin as he goes to touch the pebble. But you feel in your hand, one of your eyes opens up. And out of it, you spot movement in the long, dark pocket that you're standing next to.
Immediately alert the group. Movement, and I'm just like locked on it and like dropped into a stance.
The
A
hostel?
little bit lower center of gravity. Unclear.
Would I see what he's talking about with my devil's sight that can pierce magical darkness?
You
Oh,
look.
two.
Yeah,
You're not
geez.
hiding from me, bulleted boy.
We would say, essentially, that whatever this is wanted to be seen. And Drunk, you see this quick movement. It appears to be something just kind of running very quickly across like a screen, like if someone was like had a camera that was standing prone and someone was just running across a screen rapidly, kind of something like that. But there's multiple things. They're almost darkened blurs where a person could be. So something's strange. And it's going on within the long dark right now.
So I'm going to move to sort of the front of the group and still sort of like on alert, hands sort of up just a little bit. Not like super hostile posture, but he's just going to kind of lean forward a little bit and in just like a normal speaking voice go, what are you? What do you want? I see you.
You're just continuing to hear the whispers. Damn, I'm waiting for one of you to just do it. And you know what I mean by just do it.
I mean, I want to know what this thing looks like.
I highly advise against going in.
I think
I know.
Drunk's going to
Wait, what?
turn around.
Can I send the crow in?
You can, actually.
Okay. All right.
Drunk, you are not going in the shadow dimension.
I mean,
Okay,
You're not going to the shadow realm.
look.
I'm gonna explain to the group so like I can see through the crow's eyes, but I'm not exactly gonna be like, seeing through my eyes when this happens, so just don't let anything happen to me.
Okay.
And I tell the crow, go in.
All right.
Tranquility will step to
That should be
stand
good.
behind Zigbis where she can keep an eye on him.
Okay. The crow leaps off of your shoulder and just goes "Quack," and flies into the long dark. And I would imagine you are able to peer through his eyes and shit.
Yeah, I can peer through his eyes. I don't control him, but I can tell him to do things.
Okay. Immediately when he goes through and into the long dark, you see a forest. He's darting in between trees, but also in his narrowed vision, you're able to see shadows shifting in between the trees. And with the whispers still kind of echoing through not only his hearing, but yours as well, you keep hearing the same thing. In shadows born, in shadows reborn. And as the crow continues to fly, you think you see a light, maybe? In the darkness? And then you lose the connection with your crow. Something happens and breaks the connection.
I'm going to just try and I don't know if he can hear me, but just try and will it to come back. I don't know if it's going to go through, but the crow has its own will, so let's see what happens.
Roll me a D100.
I think your crow got poofed.
40.
You wait. For maybe 2-3 minutes. And it doesn't return.
Yeah. God damn it. Now I have to summon it again.
All right. Well, we're not going to accomplish much here besides being attacked by shadows. Let's pull back and think of something else.
I was gonna suggest, and now I'm significantly less keen on it, but I bought all this chain. I could tie it to my waist and have you guys hold it and cast light or bless on myself and go
You
in.
are the only person who can be a primary healer. We are not letting you go in there.
Tranquility also has healing word.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to gain by going in there right now.
Yeah.
We got
I
some
think I
information. There's some stuff going on, but it's just a bunch of like,
Yeah,
in Shadows Board and Shadows Reborn.
I would say
I will.
with my devil sight, I would be able to see a lot more.
You would. All you see is a forest, though, because that's what you see in front of you now, at least presumably. But there's just something about this forest that seems different. It's almost twisted by the shadow itself.
Anything, let me go in.
Maybe we should try this experiment again once we get the shard from the lake.
Yeah, to answer your general questions, you're not wrong in feeling that maybe there's nothing to be gained by going in now. And in fact, that's the smart thing to do because, one, you don't have a shard. If I was in your party, I'd be like, I'm not fucking going in there without a shard.
I
And
thought we all had shards.
We have tiny shards.
You have clothing.
You have clothing, which can provide you with brief moments of protection, but not
Yeah,
forever like a shard can.
We had a shard on the boat.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about.
Embrin is curious though.
And that's the other thing. There is something to be gained by going in. It's just you are submitting yourself to
Unknown perils.
pretty crazy shit, if we're going to be honest, yeah.
I think
Embrin,
we're... Go ahead.
I have an idea though. It's not involving me going in though. If the long dark made the rock turn solid black and have small like tendril things, Embrin's gonna draw his greatsword and like dip the blade.
That's an interesting... Well, how much is a new greatsword?
I can conjure a greatsword, a weapon now.
Oh!
Packed
okay,
blade,
alright, yeah.
packed
Go for it.
weapon.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, do it.
Packed blade. I can just conjure any weapon I want, and I am proficient with it.
All right.
That's why I
See-
chose Pact of the Blade. Like, I want to do something stupid with my greatsword just to see what happens.
I thought it'd be
You-
interesting.
You walk up.
Everyone's
To,
like, hold on, I want to try something.
You walk up. What do you do?
I'm gonna pull out my greatsword, look at the rock, shrug. I got an idea. And then dip it straight in, blade first into the long dark.
You
If it takes the sword, oh well.
you see it sort of emerge on the other side of the what you can see there, and you think there's like this normally would be a partition between where you're standing currently and the actual long dark, the barrier itself, but really you can just see right through it. It emerges on the other side,
I love
It's-
having devil sight.
kind of chromatic in nature, kind of like what you're seeing in the trees and in the ground on the other side. And do you pull the sword back out?
Does it look like it's changing at all, growing like little tendrils?
Not that you can see.
Do I see anything moving around in the shadows?
Not that you can see.
Pull the blade back out.
And still really no shadowy tendrils on the blade at all. It seems the effects of what you had discovered previously with the Sable Serpent maybe is only an effect that occurs after a prolonged state inside the Long Dark.
Well, I can confirm. Takes a time for it to change things. It looks like.
Makes
At
sense.
least inorganic.
So if you left something there and we came back for it later,
I mean, there's no guarantee it'll be there, but possibly.
Did Tranquility hear this Shadows Born, Shadows Reborn business, or is this just Ember and with the Rock?
I think everyone heard it.
Everyone heard it as soon as you guys were fucking around with the Long Dark, yeah.
Okay. Tranquility will, yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Tranquility will remember that as a kind of a catchphrase to try on somebody she suspects is an Umbralite.
And
That's fair.
you guys hear some voices coming from the road ahead, and you look to see that there's a group of workers making their way up the path. They're laughing, they're just anxious, it seems, to get back. And then there's also another group leaving the village and walking past you, so they're all just kind of giving you a couple looks here and there as they pass. And you guys said you were heading out, yes?
I want to do one thing really quick, and I think that this nothing is going to come of this, but Drunk is going to take out like 5 feet of rope, just cut 5 feet of rope off of his 50 feet of rope, and maybe just like a scrap of paper and something to write with. Can we just assume that I have that, or somebody has that?
Sure, yeah.
Is that okay? Okay. Drunk is just gonna write. He's gonna show it to the group and write, "What are you? What do you want?" And ask the group anything else we want to ask the shadows.
Drug.
Yeah,
What was
Tranquility has a... Yeah, there's a pair of shrugs at you from the Warlocks.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm good.
nah, I'm good.
So
They took my bird.
Drunk
I'm
just
upset.
writes down, "What are you and what do you want?" in common. He ties the end of the rope on top of, so he like puts the pencil in the middle of the paper and rolls it up and ties the rope around it, and then throws the note with the pencil into the Long Dark, and then shoves the other end of the rope that's still outside of the Long Dark under like a rock, so that the rope isn't really visible, but the group will remember where it is. And he says to the group, "Come back later and check to see if we get any answers."
Something
Pen pals
tells
with the
me.
Long Dark.
Something tells me you might just eat the paper, but we'll see what happens.
Worth a
That would be a
shot.
type of message too.
And we become long dark paper.
So, you all just shrug, yeah, and, it's an idea, and then, you follow the group of workers. They're wiping their eyes. They're probably just woken up from, their sleep, and they're getting ready to go into their next shift. And as you look up ahead where they're going, you see an opening in the tree line. And once you get to the opening, you look out into a large, just epically vast plains landscape that stretches out towards the Elder Twixt Mountains. And this is what you see. Wait. One moment.
Where are we looking? In Discord or in
What?
Roll20?
Roll 20.
Oh, that looks sick.
This massive
Wow.
structure that stretches towards the skies. From this view, it looks like it towers over the tallest peak of the Elder Twixt. And it's just now that you realize this is what has been going on here for the past 130 some odd years. And this is what could save everyone. And that's where we're going to call it.
Nice.
Well played, everybody.
Yeah. I'm excited to get to the traveling bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
I-
so
Birdie.
tempted to just do what Drunk was about to suggest, and that was just to walk into the dark.
Yeah, I thought it was a really bad idea, and then I was like, oh, we could try the chain.
Oh,
bit.
it's a horrible idea. I still want to do it.
I would
If
say
we get
this.
The shard, we should try it.
Embred has an intellect of 8. I 100% want to do it.
I mean,
Think-
I think Drunk has a 7, so
You
Think of
let's
it like
go,
this.
buddy.
I was half of me was hoping that you were going to, and the other half of me didn't want you to because I know what would happen if you did without a shard. But I also know what would happen if you did, even with or without a shard. You would learn some things.
yeah.
Yeah, what if I just flexed my muscles and scared away all the shadows?
You trust me, they would not be scared of you.
Yeah, you sure? There's some
Yes.
pretty nice muscles.
You're
As you say to the DM.
you are
Must
a
seduce the
being of
living shadows.
flame amidst a realm that potentially hates light.
I will seduce the shadows.
You should have been a bard.
He'd be making more shadows by producing light there.
Ooh, you're procreating with the shadows to make more shadows.
Exactly.
You shadow fucker.
Really dinks you dink.
Maybe my shadow friend will pop out and say hi to them too.
Maybe, or maybe some writing will appear on that piece of paper left by Mr. Drunk.
Oh, man.
Dear pen pal,
If
I
I
want
let
to hate all life.
We
If
just
I-
don't even know what they want or what they're doing or what like does it have a mind? Is it intelligent? Is it an army? Is it one being? Is it non-sentient? Like what like we don't know anything.
Yeah, what you've seen so far in your travels about the Long Dark is that they are all unique individual pockets of, well, this. You think it's like a mirror or some kind of window into something else.
A warped
And you-
reality.
Yeah, you don't really know quite the properties.
Hey DM,
Yes.
speaking of which, that light in the darkness, did that appear as like an eye-watering coalition of magical power to the point where the brain interpreted it as light, or was it actual magical light, or was it light?
It looked to be. Well, it looked to be radiant and piercing.
And only the
Presumably a
raven could
shard.
see it.
Yes,
The
only the
shard?
Raven saw it for a brief moment before, presumably just.
A shard in that pocket of dark?
Yeah,
Or
it's maybe.
who fucking knows? Could be a celestial. It could be, who knows? Very.
It was just a light that was barely noticeable through the darkness before black.
Yeah, very frustrating not knowing anything. I think, like, at the very beginning of next session, I guess, which will be, like, in the new year or something, but Drunk, at this point, really intends to pray to Paylor and try to get anything that Paylor might be willing to share in terms of what he knows, what's happening. And I think he's sort of out of session. Drunk and Tranquility had talked about this, and Drunk had suggested that Tranquility ask Saluna also.
Right.
Which Tranquility took under advisement.
Yeah, and maybe wasn't keen on, but Drunk is fully intent to just like, hey, what do you know? Help me help you. You know, like, is this hurting you? Is Saluna attacking you? What is this? Like, what?
So what's funny is I don't normally tell people this after we're done playing, but you guys were really close on some of the roles for like getting some of the knowledge out of these people that you were talking to.
We
Now we just
tried.
gotta wait and see what the pen pal tells us.
You were so close. One of these I was like, and it was like a pretty large puzzle piece.
Imagine when we go.
Go ahead.
So imagine when we go tell the council about our findings. It's like Drunk got an extra planar exchange student pen pal. Oh, what?
They'll be
They
like,
did a foreign pen pal? No, extra planar.
Extra planar.
the High Illuminarch will be like, you are no longer pen pals.
Boast. You don't get that anymore.
All
Look at
right,
that
well, I
bottom with
better-
me.
I better get to bed. I work tomorrow.
All right. Bye, guys. Again, yeah, probably New Year. We will be playing again. So consider next week a holiday week, no session, and hope everyone has a good holiday.
GG.
All right.
Well played, everybody.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later.
Boy.
See ya. And anyone that's still here, thank you very much for watching. And as you heard, we won't be playing. This thing is totally in my way now. We won't be playing next week, but I'll post about later sessions. So.